workshop. So this week we are going to make some 6-inch Z-bars, specifically to suit a Wideglide spacing and width so they fit flush up against the forks there. So the base is going to be slightly wider than your standard set that you can get from any of the other sort of chopper outfits. They will eventually be chrome, which is my favourite combo. From the few sets I've made in the past, I've figured out a few little tricks to speed things up a little bit, not waste as much material, and get a chance to check them out visually before coming them out of metal. So I will show you that sort of stuff. Hopefully that'll help someone down the line and save them a bit of time. Otherwise, we've been super busy here, getting through a massive list of jobs. Thank you to everyone out there who's been getting in contact about work. So making plenty of parts, trying to keep products in stock, and keeping everyone happy. It's more than a full-time job. So hopefully everyone's doing well. And I think it's about time we get into it. All right, bit of table CAD. This one's going to be mixed inch and millimeters. We are going to have 16. All this is 1-inch tubing for Harley. For Harley Davidson application. Yeah, let's do that. That's pretty good. And then a little bit more. And up. Don't really need to do both sides because it is going to be symmetrical, but it's nice for a visual. Something like that. It's pretty good laying it out like this because you can see which way the miters need to go. Sometimes it's a bit confusing when you're actually just looking at the tubing, which way they'll actually fit together. This is a 90-degree bend here, so this will be 45 on the bandsaw and 45 to get a nice straight angle. This one here it looks 45 at this rate, but it's actually going to dip down a little bit and tilt back, so this is actually going to be a compound degree for both of these, just so they're not just too straight and square sort of thing, because it's not actually very comfortable. They're going to be from here to the base of this tubing. I'm going to make them 6 inches tall, which is approximately 152 mil. 6-inch or 152 millimeters from there to there. This is all 1-inch tubing all the way through. From here to here, and this is from outside to outside, it'll be 10 inches, or I think it's 250 something, 10 by 25.4, yeah, of course, 254 outside to outside. And the other thing is just that grip length, which I measure from here to here from this section, because you can't actually put anything that way. So I usually make these 230. It's not super long, but it's enough to fit a mirror or switch or something like that in between your grip and the inside here. That's pretty much looking like what I'm thinking. So one of my little tricks is, this is just 25mm or approximately 1 inch conduit, heavy wall conduit, just plastic conduit, literally from the hardware store. Nothing fancy. It's like $5 for 4 meters of it, so it's much cheaper than steel tubing. Which means, you know, if you make a wrong miter or something like that, it's not the end of the world just to do another piece. It's still strong enough where you can kind of tape it together and hang on to it, and it's not just going to fall apart. And yeah, like I said, it's mainly cheap, so you can measure out all these, get a really good visual in hand of exactly what it's going to look like. You can even, once you have it all taped together, you can clamp those into a standard Harley riser, and it will sit there and you can see it on the bike, no problem, and make any adjustments to your idea without wasting, you know, probably $30 or $40 worth of tubing. Yeah. Oh, as well, I've got these fittings. Last time I was at the hardware store, I got these little $2 right angle fittings, and I thought, you know what, that would actually make a really good way to hold these up without having to tape it together. So you can cut a piece of conduit whatever length you need, and this gives you a little bit of adjustment. There's an inch in here that you can play around with, and I just put some nuts and bolts and stuff in here to give it a bit of weight, a little bit of a base, and they'll sit like that while you put your tubing in, and you know, you can have a solid piece just like that, so you can stand back and have a look at it. Just a cool little thing. I like the idea of these as just a quickie little fixture, but I think what I might do going forward is actually make a similar piece. I might actually make a similar piece out of steel, not with this huge honker thing here, but more of a right angle like that fits it in nice and tight, with an open window here that you can actually get in, and while that's all together, you can actually get in there and weld the corner in, and it'll hold it all nice and tight. So maybe something for the future, but for now, this is a very cheap and easy way to go about it. So I'll bring you over to the bandsaw and we'll do a few cuts and show you how this all stacks up, and then it's as simple as taking those pieces out and separate them, and cutting the steel versions of them based on your idea. So yeah, let's have a go at that. Hello, buddy. It's a good boy. Come to see what I'm up to. Alright, down you go. I've just cut a straight piece, doesn't have any angles on it, and that will just equal the 10 inches from here to here. So my 254 that way, my little uprights, which will go in that way. And so I cut these over 45, so it has that downward droop or drop or whatever you want to call it, with this welding tape. And the cool thing with this is that you can muck around with this angle here. Get that. These aren't set at any precise angle this way, I'm just getting them together. Right. Cool. So now we can sort of play around a little bit with our angle this way. So that would be quite an extreme angle, which is okay for some things. Probably I would say something with that much pullback would be suited to a higher bar. But because these guys are only 6 inch tall, I reckon something more subtle like that is plenty. It's looking pretty good. I think it's always good just to have a full size version of what you're trying to make, especially if you haven't made them before, or you're just not quite sure how high to go, anything like that. You can really muck around with them. Now we can just transfer these to the steel tube and weld it all together. If you can do it in this, you can do it in steel. That's my theory anyway. Now that everything's been welded up, I just want to go through and hit these edges and sort of blend them in, because these are going to get chromed, so I want them to look nice and smooth, no bulky welds or anything. Started on that one already. There'll still be some remnants on the very inside because I'm not going to get too crazy getting in there. It's just kind of not worth the damage. But the outside's looking nice and smooth. We'll give it a really cool look. So that's it for those ones. From concept to reality, I think that worked out really well. Super happy with the finish, and as I was saying, these are heading off to chrome next week with these 3-inch risers as well that I make. They should come back shining nice and bright. Can't wait to see them. I'm happy to get those all finished up because tomorrow the family and I are heading up to the Albury Rumble Run, which is a chopper and pickup truck show. So that should be pretty fun. And that'll be my first couple of days off since the start of the year, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be taking plenty of photos up there, and I might even take some video as well and make a little clip to pop on the channel. So look out for that. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again soon with another fun project. Take care.